morning and welcome to the Kendra's Card Challenge 10 video hop and giveaway. My name is Jay and I'm on the Kendra's Card Challenge design team and I wanted to share with you Sketch 13 today. Let's just talk for a minute about what Kendra's Card Challenge actually is. So it's a quarterly card making challenge which is totally free to participate in. And you turn 6 sheets of pattern paper into 15 cards. The cards are American Standard A2s, so they're fairly convenient because they just use standard postage and all that kind of good stuff. You can enter monthly if you so choose, and there's a description link below that will get you to the main site, and there's also a link to the Facebook group. Submissions are done through posting to a album in the Facebook group directly. So what is the hop, if that's what Kendra's Card Challenge is? Basically, the hop is the entire design team is doing all 15 sketches in Kendra's Card Challenge 10, which launched a couple days ago. And the hop is going to be running until April 9th. So go to each video in the hop, and you can like, comment, and subscribe at each stop. And then once you've done that for all 15 videos, you can fill in the Google Doc form that is linked in the description box below. If you want to find all the videos, you can just click on the hashtag KCC10 giveaway hop, and that should take you to all the videos. In addition, Kendra often produces a cutting guide with some advice, etc., for the series, so if you want to take a look at that, that's usually up on her channel within a couple days of this launching. And if you look at the description box, you can also find the next stop in the hop, if just to go through the whole thing in sequence. Since this is stop number 13, you may have seen these in the past, so this may be a little bit different. So that is what Kendra's Card Challenge itself and the giveaway hop are. So let's talk a little bit about Sketch 13. So on the screen right now, Editing Me will put in the full set of 6 pattern papers I chose. I was working with Graphic 45 papers this time, so they have more of a vintage feel than a number of the papers I've used in the past. And really this one I was drawn to because it looks like a quilting pattern. As you can see, as I'm sort of assembling it here on my mat, basically you're using 2 of the pattern papers and then you're just sort of inverting them. So you get a design that looks, at least to me, a lot like a barn quilt square that you might see in the northern Midwest. So we are back, and I went and I cut a navy mat. This is actually a slightly pearlescent cardstock, which I don't know if that reads on camera or not. I just grab sort of a standard white card base. Again, this will create some contrast. I really like blue and white together. It kind of has, I don't know, it's a pretty classic color combo and always has kind of a nautical feel. Now, if you wanted to kind of take this sort of vintage color palette here in the papers, this is from Graphic 45's Alice's Tea Party. One of these is from the actual, this is from the actual pattern paper. As you can see, there's a very vivid pattern on the other side. It's more of a, and with their pattern paper, they usually mix up like sort of these kind of patterns and then like things that are more statement pieces. This one is from their solids collection, so if you wanted to sort of do even more blue, like this isn't quite a solid, but you could flip this over. But I actually really like the quilty look of basically like essentially the same pattern but color shifted. The other thing you could do is if you wanted this to be more of a vintage feel as opposed to a white card, you could just grab, sort of like something in sort of a sepia tone. These are Catherine Pooler's, but these are all sort of orangey or red shifted browns. Or you could just use, something more like a traditional brown as well. So there are a lot of options if you wanted to do that. But I think I like the idea of a little bit more contrast. So let's just move the card off to the side. And the way this goes together is you basically want your corners flush. And the thing that makes this a little tricky is that these 2 pieces are not interchangeable. And the other thing of note is when you're cutting this, the piece starts out like this, and then you do these diagonal cuts. So basically, you're rotating the pattern. So something that's very as non-directional as possible is probably going to work best. But basically, what we want to do is glue down the corners so they're all flush. And then what you'll get is sort of a sort of a pinstripe line of the background in between. So basically we want to put all the corners on and then put in the triangle. Let's get this guy together. We're basically done with the hard part of the card. Now as you see there's this blue edge. We could trim this off. I'm not going to, but just know that that would be an option. So now we can just use standard tape to attach this to the card base. And you do see a little bit of the blue, which I like. But you also have blue here, so I think you're not getting a lot of this base panel, so depending on if you like that, you can modify the card sketch to your own personal desire. So I'm just going to use standard ATG tape on this, which always takes a little bit to get going first thing in the day, it feels like. Because this will be a pretty... other than, like, basically the cutting of these pieces and getting them onto your card, like, the rest of this is going to be a pretty straightforward card. So, I always make sure I know which side this opens on because I've glued these down wrong on many, many, many cards, and it's always fairly annoying to have to recut it. Although, it's funny, I was watching, I forget, I think it was Craft Roulette last night, where, you see people who have been card makers for 20 years and like it's their real job, and they still screw stuff up too. So that's always nice to know as a sort of hobbyist that like not everyone is perfect. So I really want to use this piece because I sort of like how it hangs off the edge. I kind of also want to cut off sort of these pieces. I want to cut off this fussy cut off this flower, I think, because I like how it hangs over a little, but this is just a bit too much. And one of these vines got kind of messed up. So these are my favorite Fiskars mini scissors. I guess they're not mini, but they are spring-loaded scissors, and they do a really nice job with stuff like this. And we're just gonna quickly fussy cut that out. And always save stuff like this. This one's probably not super useful, but this rose could be used very nicely. In fact, maybe we will. I want to cut off this like vine that kind of got messed up in transport. There we go. But I think we can use this rose somewhere as to sort of balance this. So we have the You Are My Cup of Tea, which is going to fit here. The original sketch, as I think I might have mentioned, there's a piece of ephemera here and then a sentiment, but we have basically all that stuff all rolled into one. So I'm going to glue this guy down. This wasn't actually part of the pattern paper pad. Well, I guess I should say the design is part of the pattern paper pad. However, Graphic 45 also sells these die cut pieces, which, if you're me, makes your life a lot easier. So I'm going to do this here, I think, and just sort of push it down. You don't necessarily need to get into like every little nook and cranny, but like with some of these pieces, it's always good to go there. And I think I like the idea of like a little rose in the corner here to sort of offset the weight of the sentiment down there and kind of pull this up. That also was not in the actual original card sketch, but that is sort of an improvisation. So let's get this guy up there. I do like, that's a fun idea. I like that. So, I mean, I think, whenever you're making cards, like, if you have little ideas like that, it's always fun to do. So this is sketch number 13 complete, and I thank you very much for watching. So I would like to invite you to play along with Kendra's Card Challenge as well. Just complete a set of 15 cards, and they are due by the end of June. That would be June 30th. There's an opportunity to win prizes every month. There's both giveaways around specific card sketches as well as just quarterly giveaways for anyone who's entered a set throughout the month. That's sort of my ongoing theme. If you're interested in playing along or anything related to Kendra's Card Challenge, check out the description box below. All the details are there. And go search on the hashtag and finish this giveaway hop. So, thanks for watching. My name is Jay, and if you want to see more from my channel, feel free to click on my name below once you finish the hop, and you can look at some of my previous Kendra's Card Challenge series too. So, because I think each one has been fairly unique in terms of what the cards look like. Have a great rest of your day.